Hey guys, this is Gloria. So I want to come to you today with a little coloring video. I'm not going to call this a tutorial because I am very brand new to coloring, and so I just wanted to color this image and I wanted to do it on video. So I'm just going to share with you guys my little techniques. What I do to color an image is nothing fancy at all, and anyone that has markers could probably do this themselves. I just want to just play on camera pretty much. So the markers that I'm going to use tonight are the Pro Markers by Letraset. I love these markers because they are alcohol based. They work just like Copics. They blend and all that good stuff. The only difference is these markers do have a bullet tip on one end, and Copic markers have a brush tip, and then they also have this broad tip here. And then the other only problem that I have with these markers are you have to find your own combination of colors, because they don't have like how Copic has colors that, you know, if you go by the numbers you can kind of match the colors or whatever. Well, these really don't. Like, these markers here are two of the markers that I'm going to use tonight, and as you can see, the color numbers don't match in any type of way, so I'm not sure how to mix and match these markers. It's just like by trial and error. You gotta kind of practice. But I'm gonna show you guys what I do to color in an image. Like I said, nothing spectacular. I just want to share with you guys my little coloring, and I hope that you guys can see it really well. And this is going to be a little difficult because I am working around the tripod. So I'm going to color in with blue markers. This first one that I'm using is Pastel blue, and I'm just going right in and coloring my image with the pastel blue. I'm going to color the entire coat with this color. And like I said, it's very easy to do because of the bullet tip. For me, it gives me a lot of control because I am very heavy-handed, and sometimes with the Copic markers I tend to put a little bit too much paint, or ink, where I don't want it to flow to. So for me, these are much better, especially if you're starting out, you know. So that is her coat colored in, and then I'm going to go in with the powder blue, which is a slightly darker blue, and I'm just gonna go right underneath where her little muffler is. I'm gonna go right here where her arms are creasing, and then I'm gonna go right underneath here where her elbows are, and right underneath where her scarf is. And what that is going to do is, hopefully, it's going to bring some depth to the picture, you know. And then that is all the little shading I'm going to do. I hope that you guys can see that. So then, next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of my gray markers. I'm going to use a cool gray number 3 and a cool gray number 4. I'm going to go in first with my cool gray number 3, and I'm just going to color in her scarf. So I'm going to make her scarf and her her earmuffs and her muffler gray. So I'm just coloring right in. Very simple, very, very easy. I'm going to make this gray. And you can go in circles, you can go in, you know, lines, flicks, whatever you want to do, whatever's more comfortable with for you. For this picture, I'm just going in kind of little circles because it's easier for me to do it that way for this picture. But I notice with other pictures I may do lines. I notice with hair I tend to do more lines depending on how the hair is, and stuff like that. So just filling in where I missed. And then I'm also going to paint. I keep saying paint, but I'm going to color in the bottom of her little jacket here. And I'm just being careful not to go outside the lines. There is a blender marker that comes with this set that, you know, it will help you push the color back in where it needs to go. You guys heard me talk about these nibs that you can put on the marker, it actually gives you more control. It's three times the control over like the ink flow. So it makes for a really good a good way to get into like the little the little portions that you may not be able to get into more easier. So I'm just going like right underneath her little scarf here and just going around like the little creases. And like I said before, I'm not doing anything fancy, just whatever looks good to my eye is what I'm doing. So I'm just following like the little curves that the artist made and just kind of highlighting those little curves and exaggerating them just a tad bit just to make it stand out a little bit more. And you can always go back over it with the cool gray number 3 and you can blend it in, or you can leave it. You know, it's up to you how you want to color your image. So I'm just gonna blend in her scarf a little bit, but I think her muffler and her bottom of her coat I may just leave. I'll color it in. One thing you have to remember about alcohol-based markers is they do dry lighter than what they appear when they're wet. So a lot of times I'll move on to something else and then I'll decide later if I want to come back and put more color down, because you really can't tell how it's going to look until you allow it to dry a little bit. The next thing that I'm going to do is do her little socks, and again I'm going to take my lighter blue, which is my pastel blue, and I'm just going to color in the top of her little boots, not her socks, but her little boots here. I'm going to make that blue, the little fur blue, and I'm going to go back in with the darker blue and just kind of lay down a little bit of color just at the very bottom part of her boot. Next I'm going to color in her ear muffs, and I'm going to do that in the lighter gray, which is the cool gray number 3. And just colored in the whole thing. Colored in the whole thing. And then I'm going to go back with my darker gray with the nib and just follow where the artist put the outside lines. And that's all I'm going to do for her earmuffs. Okay. And so that is what she's looking like so far. And I'm going to do her boots, and I'm going to color her boots in first with cool gray number 4, and I'm taking the nib, the fine nib off so that I can put down a lot more color at the same time, because I'm going to come back with cool gray number 5, and I'm going to do a little bit of shading with it. So I just lay down my color best I can. And then I'm gonna come in there with my cool gray number 5. Where are you? Okay, this is cool gray number 5, which is the darkest gray. And I'm just going to put just a little bit right around the edge of her boot. that's that. Make her boots a little bit darker. And so now I need to color her hair, and I'm going to use cinnamon to color her hair. And I'm just going to go right in and lay the color down. And as I said before, the brush, I mean not the brush, but the this end, this bullet tip, is really great for getting in really small areas. So it's not a problem at all to color her hair in. And I like images that don't have a lot of hair because I'm not very good with coloring in hair. I have to practice more, but I really like how some people know how to make the hair look shiny by leaving like the white spaces and stuff like that, but I'm not there yet. So I'm just gonna color her hair the best I can, which is just laying down color. And then because these are alcohol based, I can go back in and lay down just a little bit more color over what I just did. And I just want to make it look like her roots are a little bit darker than her hair color. So that is pretty much all I'm going to do with her hair. So the last thing that I need to do is I need to do her skin color, and I'm going to use this color called Dusky Pink, and it's not pink, so it's the name is kind of deceiving. It is a very pretty flesh tone color, and you know, it can be for a Caucasian woman, it could be for a light-skinned African American, it can be for a Hispanic person, any person I think this color would be great for. So I just colored her in, and then I'm just gonna go back and just kind of put a little bit of shading right around that part and right around the bottom of her face right there. And I'm gonna go in with pale pink, and I'm just gonna put just a little bit of pale pink right underneath where her eyes are. And what that is gonna do is give her some rosy cheeks like it's cold outside, which is the look that I'm going for. And then for her socks, I'm going to do a let's just put down a cool gray, a number 3 for her socks, just to keep the color kind of, well, I guess I shouldn't have did that color because it looks too much like her scarf, but that's okay. She's real matchy today. Now the last thing that I'm going to do is something that my husband taught me, and I really like how it what it does for the picture. As you can see, you know, it looks pretty good. It's not a lot of shading and stuff like that, but it does look really nice, I think. But what my husband taught me to do was to, and he draws, he's a really good artist, but he taught me to just color right around the edge of my image with the lightest gray that I have. And he said what that would do is that would make the image look as though it is popping off of the page. So, you know, he taught me that, and I really like that technique. And so I do that, try to do that with almost every image that I color. Kind of makes her look like she's floating, and you'll see what I mean in a minute. And especially once it dries more, because like I said before, once it dries, it's going to lighten up a whole lot. Now you don't have to do this, you could just leave it the way it was, but it just looks really pretty, and it just really looks like it's bouncing off the page when you do that. So that is my image, guys. That is my little coloring with my Pro Markers. Let me try to pick her up so that you can see her a little bit better. So again, this is just me practicing and sharing with you guys a little bit of technique that I've learned so far. So if you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them down below, and I will try to get back with you as soon as I possibly can. I think she looks really cute, and I think that she's ready for a card or whatever I choose to put her on. Well, let me know what you guys think, and I will talk to you guys very soon. Take care, guys. Bye.